Hello, good souls. It's Ryan at Bloom TV. Summer 2026. As of now, we look at Brody Dalle, her longest band going over the time, the Distillers. As of right now, she might still be dealing with the effects of court cases regarding her children. I, at this point, do not know where she is, how well she is doing. Myself, and I guess a lot of people, wish her control over her life in full. And if she feels like making music, we couldn't think and wish for anything better. We love her and wish her all the best. Also, the Distillers, Tony, Andy, and Ryan, who we think are a very loyal band and loyal friends to her. We wish we could see them again. We wish she would like making music again and would be free to do that, not distracted by backgrounds of her personal life. What we have here, for the meantime, are the three best Brody Dalle and the Distillers documentaries that we found so far. If you found more, please let us know in the comments. We saved sequences of each of those documentaries for you. The full-length documentaries are in a playlist linked right at the end of this video. Guys, we wish you all the best and I hope you are doing well. Be yourself.
Still is probably my favorite non-classic punk band. They came out at a time where the world could really use some good punk music. I mean, at the time there was punk, don't get me wrong, but it was shit like this.
Girls don't like boys, girls like cars and money. Responsibility, what's that? Responsibility, not quite yet. You were everything I wanted. Sorry, I can't be perfect.
And I could go on and on and on. I mean, fuck, I love shit like Green Day and Blink-182, but besides the real early stuff, I always kind of viewed them as a bastardization of their genre. Even the shit I liked, but not this band though. This band lived, breathed, fucked, and oozed punk.
This is the story of a woman who carves their name in the male-dominated world of punk.
Ooh, baby, when you cry, your face is momentary. You hide your lips behind these skirts. In happy moments, Oh, Papa, I give you a ride. Yeah.
It was 2002 and I was 12 years old when I first heard the Distillers. My brother had tipped off my mom to get me a CD from them for Christmas. It was Sing Sing Death House. The CD itself actually had a picture of Brody Dalle printed on it with her gigantic mohawk, and it was basically the coolest fucking thing I'd ever seen in my life. The Distillers were one of those bands of my youth I was so enamored by that I knew every lyric of every song off every album. And Brody herself was quite the enigma, so I thought it'd be fun to make a video about her life and career. Brody Dalle was born Bree Joanna Alice Robinson, January 1st, 1979, and she was raised in the suburbs of Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. According to Wikipedia, as a child she was sexually abused, which resulted in various court cases in which Brody received some type of financial settlement, which she later used to move to America. Around age 12, Brody started listening to bands like Nirvana, Hole, Black Flag, and Flipper, who inspired her to learn guitar and start bands of her own. So it was in the early 90s when teenage Brody started her first band, Sourpuss, and they put out a 7-inch in '95 named Solvent. That same year, Sourpuss was playing at Australia's Somersault Festival when she met Tim Armstrong, who is the guitarist and vocalist for popular punk band Rancid. And although she was only 16 and he was 30, they started a romantic relationship and got engaged 2 years later. Brody then left Melbourne to be with Armstrong in California, where they were both very active in the Los Angeles punk scene. In 1998, Brody formed the Distillers, and in 2000 they released their first debut self-titled album, which consisted of short, very fast punk songs with defiant lyrics expressed by Brody's raw, abrasive, unmistakable vocals that gave Courtney Love a run for her money. People can pull off such a persona like that without breaching into full-on parody, but she had the talent and charisma to back it up. After several lineup changes, the Distillers released their second album, Sing Sing Death House. The album was an underground success, and then the Distillers toured the country with No Doubt and Garbage in 2002. But as her career was taking off, her personal life was rapidly deteriorating. Her marriage with Tim Armstrong was becoming increasingly dysfunctional. 2003 was a great year for the Distillers, but one of the lowest points for Brody. They had their major label debut with their third album, Coral Fang, which Vice described as one of the best albums of the 2000s, born from the rage and torment of one relationship ending and the lust and fire of a new one beginning. As much as it bothers me how much of Brody Dalle's music is described with her romantic life being the constant point of reference and presumed inspiration, there's no denying the timeline of events that led up to the creation. In 2003, Brody and Tim went through a very nasty and very public divorce. Despite the many mutually toxic aspects of their relationship, Brody primarily was villainized and mobbed with hate by rancid fans. Tim had more sway in the music industry, and he turned other artists against her and even badmouthed her in the press and in his new albums. To make matters even worse, Brody had started dating Queens of the Stone Age frontman Josh Homme, and pardon my SJW observation, but I've noticed that when female musicians date male musicians, there's often this nefarious intent ascribed to them, like she's just using him to get ahead, or he must write her songs. But I rarely see that dichotomy play out when the genders are reversed. As a musician myself, I've dated a handful of other musicians and even started bands with people I'm dating. It's actually pretty fucking normal for people to be attracted to people who have similar interests and passions to you or who work in a similar career field. But anyway, Coral Fang was a departure from the first two albums, and it was critically acclaimed for its experimental approach and its cryptically poetic lyrics that showed off Brody's impressive vocabulary and literary influences. I've listened to this album thousands of times since I was 13, and I still enjoy it to this day. In 2004, the Distillers were at the pinnacle of their success, and Brody even won an award for Rock and Roll Woman of the Year by NME.
Brody Dalle, everybody. I don't even need to say it.
In 2005, Brody married Josh Homme, and she was 2 months clean off meth when she found out she was pregnant, and that only strengthened her resolve to turn her life around. It was around this time that after 7 years of playing together, the Distillers decided to disband.
Metaphorically, at least, she's already packing quite a pair. From her early street urchin days in far-off Melbourne, Australia, to the one lady who never took any guff from the male-dominated music industry. From snooty top execs all the way to the lowest nightclub owner, bouncer. Many of whom will recall her from her first imprint on their jaw. And she doesn't need her old man to back her up.
Holy eyes, never paint on a
And then in November of 2012, she announced she'd be releasing a solo album. She signed with Caroline Records and then released the first single, which was a joint track titled Meet the Fetus / Oh the Joy, featuring Shirley Manson from Garbage. I found Meet the Fetus to be a really interesting track since it branches out of the norm of like rock songs that tend to be all about romance, sex, rebellion, drugs, and instead she managed to incorporate motherhood and write lyrics about falling in love with her child in a way that's still cool and not like corny and weird. Following the release of Meet the Fetus, she toured Australia and New Zealand with Nine Inch Nails and Queens of the Stone Age. Diploid Love, the album, was released shortly after and was well received by fans and critics alike, who praised her for her continued evolution as an artist. Rolling Stone rated it 4 out of 5 stars. In 2019, I was thrilled to hear that the Distillers were going on a reunion tour. Normally, reunion tours are depressing and kind of suck, especially punk reunions, since it just doesn't age well to have 50-year-olds singing on stage about skipping school to sniff glue or whatever. That's like, well, whatever. But the Distillers weren't that far in the past, and Brody still had a relevant music career. Unfortunately, I didn't make it out to see them on the reunion tour, but some of my friends did and said they were awesome.
It's not because I'm really good at it, it's because I love it.
In 2018, fans were thrilled when Brody Dalle announced the Distillers reunion. By that time, her long marriage to the Queens of the Stone Age frontman was ending. That happened while Josh went into rehab, but the relationship deteriorated further when he got sober and retaliated with his family gaining custody of their children. In 2024, Brody revealed on social media that she hadn't seen her 3 children in over a year. At 45, she still has a long musical career ahead of her. But as with other times in her life, personal struggles seem to keep one of the biggest all-time female influences in punk rock off the stage.
New record.
How many new songs?
11 for Rise Records. It's like the next logical step for listening to Coral Fang and then this record. I feel happy. I was really nervous, tried to be present and like pay attention to what was going on. The Sunset Sound, one of the last analog studios in LA. Led Zeppelin 3 was recorded there. Prince recorded in the studio. He tried to replicate it, and that's what Paisley Park Studio is. The same layout. We worked with Nick Launay. He did Grinder Man, a lot of Nick Cave stuff. Yeah. Nick's great.
Videos.
Sophie Mueller, crazy Hollywood experience at Warner Brothers. Then Dean Carr, downtown LA. We've also done like some collage stuff. There's some songs that deal with breaking up. Some songs about her love for family, her kids. Some songs just about experiences that she's had. She'll focus on stuff that is close to her, but also things that are more out there in the ether. We're supposed to be on tour in Europe now. It's a dangerous time.